The movie begins on the evening of July 4th in a small coastal town called Southport. Fireworks burst in the sky, celebrations fill the streets, and people are enjoying the patriotic night. Among them is Eva, who has just returned to her hometown. She isn't here only for the 4th of July festivities. She has come especially for the engagement party of her best friend, Danica. Eva dresses carefully, her heart heavy with mixed emotions. She's excited to see Danica step into this new chapter of her life, but at the same time, she feels nervous. Why? Because at the party, she knows she'll come face to face with Milo, her high school boyfriend, the boy she hasn't seen in years. Despite the distance, the thought of seeing him again makes her stomach twist with anticipation. Danica's engagement is to Teddy, another friend from their high school group. Teddy is known not just for his personality, but also for being the son of the town's mayor, a man who has influence and power all across Southport. At the engagement party, emotions run high. Laughter, music, and celebration echo through the hall. Eva and Milo finally reunite after so long. Their eyes meet across the room, and for a moment, it's as if the years apart melt away. Their smiles reveal the joy of reconnecting, even if the past holds unresolved feelings. After the engagement festivities calm down, the group, Danica, Teddy, Eva, and Milo, decide to do what they always used to do during high school. Sneak away together, drink a little, and watch the fireworks from their favorite cliffside spot overlooking the town. Before they leave, they unexpectedly bump into an old classmate, Stevie, who is accompanied by her friend Hannah. But Stevie doesn't share the same excitement. She greets them with bitterness still lingering in her eyes. She reminds them that after high school, they all left her behind while they went away to college. Stevie, tied down by her difficult family situation, had no choice but to remain in Southport. Despite her resentment, they persuade her to join them for old times' sake. Reluctantly, Stevie agrees. So the five of them pile into a car, carrying drinks, laughter, and a carefree energy. They head to the cliffside spot, the best vantage point in Southport for watching the fireworks. As they relax, joking and reminiscing about their teenage years, Teddy gets a little too reckless. Fueled by alcohol and adrenaline, he stumbles onto the middle of the road. A car barrels toward him, headlights slicing through the night, but Teddy stubbornly refuses to move. At the last moment, Milo rushes forward and pushes Teddy out of the way, saving his life. Everyone gasps in shock, but instead of sobering up, Teddy continues his drunken antics, laughing at the close call. Moments later, headlights approach again, this time from a pickup truck. Teddy, still in his reckless mood, nearly causes another disaster. The truck driver swerves hard, desperately trying not to hit him, and the vehicle skids off the road, teetering dangerously on the edge of a steep ravine. Panic erupts among the friends. They rush toward the truck, trying to stop it from sliding. The driver, struggling inside, smashes at the glass, clawing desperately for help. In a desperate attempt to survive, he grabs onto Teddy's jacket, clinging for his life. The friends scream, trying to pull him up, but the weight, the panic, and the angle are too much. With horrifying inevitability, the driver loses his grip. The truck slips over the edge, crashing down into the dark ravine. The driver goes with it, still clutching Teddy's jacket. The group stands frozen in shock. Silence falls, broken only by the distant sound of fireworks. They know what just happened. It was Teddy's recklessness that caused the accident. Eva's heart races. She insists they should go down and try to rescue the man. But the ravine is too steep, too dangerous. Even reaching the wreck seems impossible, and the chances of the driver surviving such a fall are slim. Teddy, shaken but still thinking quickly, pulls out his phone and calls the police and an ambulance. But fear grips the group. If they stay, the blame will fall squarely on them. Teddy especially knows that as the mayor's son, the spotlight would be harsher. Terrified of being accused, they flee the scene, driving straight back to Teddy's house. Once there, Teddy forces the others to swear secrecy. No one must ever know what happened that night. Eva, guilt heavy on her conscience, protests. She feels they should confess, but Danica calms her, reminding her that Teddy's father has influence. He can make the whole situation disappear. Eventually, the friends fall silent, each swallowed by the weight of the terrible secret. A year passes. It is now the summer of the following year. Eva returns once again to Southport, this time for Danica's bridal shower. At the airport, she meets a girl named Tyler, a stranger with an approachable charm. Their encounter is brief, but they connect quickly, and Eva feels comfortable enough to invite Tyler along when Milo arrives to pick her up. On the ride, Tyler explains more about herself. She's the host of a true crime podcast called Live Laugh Slaughter. She's come to Southport specifically to record an episode about the infamous 1997 Fisherman murders, a series of gruesome killings carried out by the notorious Ben Willis. Eva listens uneasily. This story feels too close to home. Later that evening, at Danica's bridal shower, emotions rise again. Danica is radiant, happy despite her past heartbreak. Her engagement to Teddy had ended, and now she is with her new fiancé Wyatt. During the gift opening ceremony, Danica's excitement suddenly falters. She opens a box to find a card inside. On it, scrawled in ominous letters, are the words, "I know what you did last summer." The color drains from her face. Panic flashes in her eyes. But before anyone notices, Wyatt enters the room, and Danica forces herself to act normal. Later, when she gets a chance, she pulls Eva, Milo, and Stevie aside to show them the note. Fear spreads quickly among them. Who could know about that night? They are certain that the driver, whose name was Sam, died in the accident. No one else was there. Danica suspects Teddy, believing maybe he's tormenting her out of spite after their breakup. Determined to find the truth, the group heads to the docks, confronting Teddy aboard his boat. But Teddy is furious at the accusation. He denies any involvement and, insulted by their suspicion, angrily throws them out. That night, tragedy strikes. Danica is at home, relaxing in the upstairs bathroom while Wyatt is downstairs. Suddenly, from the shadows, a figure in a black raincoat appears. Wyatt turns too late. A harpoon gun fires, impaling him, and before he can scream for help, the killer emerges, wielding a sharp hook. Wyatt is brutally slaughtered. Danica, unaware with her headphones on, finally comes downstairs, only to freeze in horror. Wyatt's body hangs lifeless in front of the fireplace, suspended grotesquely. On the wall behind him, scrawled in blood, are the chilling words, "You can't erase the past." Her scream pierces the night. She and her friends rush to the police, desperate for protection. But Wyatt's death is only the beginning. Someone knows their secret, and someone is determined to make them pay. The scene shifts forward 1 year later. Julie has returned home from college for summer vacation. But the happy, carefree girl we saw before is completely gone. She looks pale, distant, and haunted. Her mother instantly notices how much Julie has changed, but Julie brushes it off. Then something arrives in the mail for her, a plain envelope. Curious, Julie opens it. Inside is a folded piece of paper. Her hands tremble as she reads the chilling words written in bold letters. "I know what you did last summer." Julie's heart sinks. Her face turns white. She immediately realizes this is connected to that terrible night. She rushes to tell Helen, who now works at her family's store. Helen is equally horrified by the note. Soon, they contact Barry and Ray to discuss it. But the group's unity is already broken. None of them trust each other anymore. Barry angrily accuses Ray of sending the note to mess with them. Ray denies it, but Barry's temper explodes, and he nearly attacks him. Despite their anger, they all understand one thing. Someone out there knows their darkest secret. The group decides to investigate. They recall that the man they hit was supposed to be David Egan. Julie goes to the local records office and confirms David's death had been reported the very next day after their accident. The official report says David's death was an accident, he drowned. But the timing feels suspicious. Later, Julie and Helen meet David's sister, Missy, at her isolated home. Missy seems lonely and a little unstable. She tells them that David's death was ruled a suicide, though she doesn't believe it. She also mentions a strange detail. A man once visited her after David's death, claiming he was a friend of David. He even left a note for her with the words, "I'll never forget last summer." Julie and Helen are unnerved. Could that man be the same one tormenting them now? Meanwhile, Barry continues to act aggressively. One night, after leaving the gym, he finds himself alone in the parking lot. Suddenly, the same dark figure wearing a fisherman's slicker and carrying a hook attacks him. Barry fights back but is overpowered. The hook slashes through his car and smashes the windows, and Barry is badly beaten. The mysterious fisherman spares his life but leaves a clear message. He is watching them, and no one is safe. The terror spreads. During the annual 4th of July parade, Helen rides as the town's former beauty queen. From the crowd, she notices the fisherman standing among the people, staring at her. Her chest tightens with dread. She tries to warn Barry, but when they reach him later, he has vanished. At night, Helen prepares for the town's pageant show, where she has to crown the new queen. She sits backstage, trying to act normal, but her fear grows. During the event, she sees something horrifying. Up in the balcony, the fisherman appears, and this time he is not hiding. Helen screams when she notices Barry's lifeless body sitting in the shadows, blood dripping. But the crowd dismisses her screams as a pageant outburst, and by the time help arrives, the fisherman and the body are gone. Helen is left shaken. Later that night, while heading home, she realizes she's being stalked. She runs frantically through the dark streets, cutting through alleyways, her heart racing as footsteps echo behind her. She reaches the store where her sister Elsa works. Desperate, Helen bangs on the doors until Elsa reluctantly lets her in. But the fisherman has followed. He kills Elsa brutally with his hook before Helen can stop him. Helen flees again, running through the storage rooms, crashing through windows, and finally out into the night. She reaches the alley just before the parade route. Freedom and safety are just steps away. But as she looks back, the fisherman lunges out of the darkness. The hook slashes, and Helen's screams are swallowed by the sound of fireworks and parade music. She is dragged away, killed in cold blood, with no one noticing. The next day, Julie is devastated by Helen's disappearance. She grows more determined to uncover the truth. She revisits Missy and presses her for more answers. Missy finally admits the man who visited her after David's death was not a friend at all, but someone mysterious who claimed to know the truth about what happened. Julie suddenly connects the pieces. It wasn't David they hit that night. It was another man, someone who had killed David first and staged it as a suicide. The man they ran over was the real killer. And now, he has returned for revenge. She races to find Ray and explain her discovery. But as she warns him, she begins to suspect him again. Just then, a fisherman on a boat approaches and calls out to her, telling her Ray isn't to be trusted. Desperate, Julie runs onto the stranger's boat, but it's a trap. The horrifying truth reveals itself. The fisherman is Ben Willis, David Egan's murderer. He killed David because David was responsible for his daughter's death in a car accident. On that fateful night, Ben had just murdered David when Julie and her friends unknowingly ran him over and left him for dead. Now Ben has been tormenting them all along. Julie realizes too late that she is trapped on his boat. She searches frantically for a way out as Ben stalks her with his gleaming hook. She finds the corpses of Helen and Barry hidden below deck, confirming her worst fears. Ray, realizing Julie is in danger, races to the boat and climbs aboard. He fights Ben fiercely. After a violent struggle, Ray manages to free Julie and knock Ben off balance. Ben's hand is caught in the rigging ropes, and in a dramatic turn, he is hoisted by the boat's machinery. His hook slips from his grasp as the ropes tighten around him. Finally, Ben is thrown into the sea. His body vanishes into the water, swallowed by the dark waves. Julie and Ray collapse together, shaken but alive. They believe the nightmare is finally over. Months later, Julie has recovered and is back in college. Her life feels normal again. But during a quiet evening in her dorm bathroom, she sees a new threatening message written on the steamed mirror. I still know what you did last summer. The fisherman's reign of terror is not truly over. The screen cuts to black,